Hi everyone, today we are going to do lesson 3.3, solving one-step multiplication and division inequalities. So let's talk about this. A couple things I want to check out. I have this inequality, 6 is less than 10. Everyone agree that's true? I agree that's true. Let's try adding 2 to both sides. If I add 2 to both sides, I get 6 plus 2 is 8, and 10 plus 2 is 12. 8 is less than 12. That's true. That worked, right? What about subtracting 2 from both sides? 6 minus 2 is 4. 10 minus 2 is 8. That is also true. So that worked. What about if I multiply both sides by 2? 6 times 2 is 12. 10 by 2 times 2 is 20. 12 is less than 20. That is true. But if I divide both sides by 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. That is also true. So if I multiply both sides by the same number, it appears that I end up with the true statement. If I divide both sides by the same number, it end up with the same statement. If I add, if I subtract. So why am I doing this? Well, let's try one more thing. What if I multiply both sides by negative 2? 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. 10 times negative 2 is negative 20. Is negative 12 less than negative 20? No, that's not true. What happened here? Let's try dividing both sides by negative 2. 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. Is negative 3 less than negative 5? No, that is also not true. What could we do to make these statements? Oops, I went backwards. What could we do to make these statements true? I could flip that inequality around. So, when should you flip out? Okay. Going back to our story, when you send home your acquaintances and your best friends, let's say here we're going to send home our best friends. In this case, our best friends have a negative attitude. They have a bad attitude. So when we send home them and their bad attitude, they're going to flip out. Flip your sign. Negative 15 divided by negative 3 is positive 5. So when you send home your friend with their best friend with their bad attitude, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, they're going to flip out. Let's graph it and check it. Again, I'm going to just grab a random point down here. I'm going to call this 5. It's going to be an open circle because it's not or equal to. And it's going to be all my numbers that go this direction. So let's find a number that is that way from 5. Well, one number I know that is left of 5 is 0. So let's try 0. If I put a 0 in for n, negative 3 times 0, is that going to be greater than? Notice I'm checking the original equation. I'm not doing this bottom one. I'm saying that numbers less than negative 5 will make this equation with the greater than true. So negative 3 times 0 is 0. Is 0 bigger than negative 15? Absolutely. So 0 worked. Let's try a number on this side, see if it works. How about 10? 10 is bigger than 5. Is negative 3 times 10 greater than negative 15? Negative 3 times 10 is negative 30. Is negative 30 bigger than negative 15? No, it's not. Negative 30 is smaller than negative 15. So this did not work. So I was correct. it is 5, and numbers that are to the left of 5 or smaller than 5 will make this equation true. Let's try another one. I encourage you to check, just pick an answer from it and check it, see if it works. Oh, I should probably fill this in first. So when do you need to flip the sign? Flip the inequality symbol when you multiply or divide both sides of an inequality by a negative number to make it a true statement. So we're going to do some example, and we have to decide whether we need to flip it or not. Okay, I have negative 5a is greater than or equal to 20. So if I were to solve this, I would have to divide both sides by negative 5. So I'm sending home that negative 5, my best friend with their bad attitude. When you send them in their attitude home, they are going to flip out. So a should be less than or equal to 20 divided by negative 5 is negative 4. So negative 4 is a solution because it's or equal to, so a is correct. But what other numbers would work? Well, if I graph this, here's my negative 4. I'm putting a closed circle because it's or equal to. It's my negative 4. I'm saying it has to be all numbers less than or equal to. Kind of making it wiggly just so you can see it. Negative 4. Well, what are some of those numbers? Negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. So I think these would be answers. Negative 3 is over here. It would not be an answer. But let's check them just to make sure they work. We know negative 4, if I put in here, negative 5 times negative 4 will give me a positive 20, which is equal to positive 20. So that one works. But negative 5 times negative 5 is a positive 25. Is 25 greater than or equal to 20? Absolutely. 25 is greater than 20, so it worked. If I did negative 6 here, I would get 30. 30 is greater than 20. So yes, my answers work. A, C, and D. Okay, let's try this one. I see a negative number there, but does my best friend have the negative attitude? Oh, my best friend's sitting here with their positive attitude. I'm going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 4 over 3. I'll put a 1 under this so we can see it. Times 4 over 3. Simplify before you multiply. This will become a 1. This will become a 5. Negative 5 times positive 4 would be a negative 20. Did my friend have a negative attitude? No, they didn't. So they are not going to flip out when I send them home. So I will be left with X, and my sign will not flip. So X should be all numbers greater than or equal to 20. So here's my 20. Oh, negative 20, I'm sorry. Negative 20. And it's going to go this direction. So what's a number bigger than negative 20? Is negative 22 bigger than negative 20? No, it's right here. It's smaller. That shouldn't work. Is negative 15 bigger than negative 20? 19, 18, 17, 16. That would be right here. So yes, that should be a solution. 0 is going to be out here somewhere. That should be a solution. Negative 25, that's going to be over here. That should not be a solution. So let's try a couple of these. If I tried 0, 3/4 times 0 is 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to negative 15? Yeah, it is. So 0 works. So the numbers over here appear to work. Let's try negative 15. 3/4 times negative 15. I would say simplify before you multiply. However, I have nothing I can simplify. Oops, that's bad. So negative 3 times negative 15 is negative 45. 4 times 1 is 4. If I divided that, I would get negative 11.25. Or 11 and negative 11 and 1/4. Is negative 11 and 1/4 greater than negative 15? Yeah, it is. Let's try another one. This time, dividing by negative 2. So I need to multiply both sides by negative 2 to send home that best friend and their bad attitude. So I need to multiply by negative 2. Since I'm sending home my bestie and their attitude, they're going to flip out. My x has to be greater than or equal to negative 3 times negative 2, positive 6. Which of these numbers are greater than or equal to positive 6? Only 7. The other numbers are smaller. Let's give 7 a try. If I were to graph this, I'd put my x here at 6, and all the numbers bigger than 6. And it's a closed circle because it has e or equal to. So 6 would also work. So let me put 7 in here. Negative 7 over 2. I might have wanted to try 8 because it would be even number, but that's okay. Is that less than or equal to negative 3? 7 divided by negative 2 is negative 3.5. 3.5. Is negative 3.5 less than or equal to negative 3? Yes, it's less than that. If I put a 4 here, an 8 here, it'd be negative 4, and negative 4 is also less than negative 3. So 7 is the correct answer. Now people start getting confused and start thinking that 6 is the number I'm looking for here. No, just all the numbers bigger than 6 will make this inequality true. One-third x is less than negative 8. Again, I have a negative number, but is that my best friend? Do they have the bad attitude? No, over here is a negative number. I can multiply both sides by 3 over 1. That is a positive number I'm multiplying by. Multiplying by a positive number. Just because there's a negative number here, what I'm multiplying both sides by is positive. This will cancel out. My friend is not going to flip out, so I still have x is less than negative 24. So in order for this inequality to be true, my solutions, that should be an open circle. I did a kind of a closed circle there. I should have done an open circle. My solutions have to be less than negative 24. So let's think of a number less than negative 24. I'm going to pick one that I know I can multiply by 1/3. So I'm going to pick negative 27. So 1/3 times negative 27, or 1/3 of negative 27, is that less than negative 8? Well, 1/3 of negative 27 is negative 9. And negative 9 is less than negative 8. So I did shade the correct portion. Those numbers over here to the left of negative 24 will make this a correct statement or a true statement. Example number 5. I have a total of 6 examples, so I'm almost done. Okay, I'm going to send home this negative 1/7 that's being multiplied by my x. So my friend has a bad attitude, so I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 7, or negative 7 over 1. Multiply by negative 7. Sending my friend and their attitude home, so they are going to flip out. 6 times negative 7 is negative 42. So my solutions all have to be less than, open circle, negative 42. Numbers smaller than negative 42 are to the left. So when I think of numbers smaller than 42 that I want to test, I'm going to do one that I can take a seventh of pretty easy. So I'm going to go with negative 49 to see if that works. I can do 49 over 1. You want to make sure that this is bigger than 6. My solution is bigger than 6. Simplify before you multiply. This will become a 1. This will become a negative 7. Now I have negative 1 times negative 7. That's a positive 7. 1 times 1 is 1, so it's just positive 7. Is that greater than 6? Yeah, it is. So my numbers to the left of negative 42, or less than negative 42, will make this a true statement. Last example. Okay, I have my variable on the right. You know how I hate that. I could rewrite it now, or I can rewrite it when I'm done. I'll rewrite it when I'm done. Okay, I have negative 6 being multiplied by my h. So I need to send this negative 6 home. My best friend and their bad attitude. This will cancel out. I'll be left with h. My friend is going to flip out because I'm sending her home. 48 divided by negative 6 is a negative 8. Okay, so again, if I want to graph this, I like to have my variable on the left side. I want my negative 8 on the right side. Notice the big mouth is open towards the negative 8, or the small mouth is pointed towards h, whichever way you look at it. So my solution to this will be all numbers less than negative 8. So it will go this direction. Well, let's think of a number less than negative 8. How about negative 9? We can try that. It's 48 less than, notice I'm going right to my original equation, negative 6 times negative 9. And negative 6 times negative 9 is 54. And is 48 less than 54? Yes, it is. So my correct solution is h has to be less than negative 8 to make this a true statement. It gets confusing, I understand that. So hopefully this is making sense. I recommend checking them, graphing them on the number line, pulling a number up, seeing if it works. That's the best thing to do. So in summary, make sure you flip the inequality sign when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number. It doesn't matter if there are any other negative numbers in the problem. It's just if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, that's when you're going to flip out. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.